Greetings, welcome, segment 2 of the Soule of Wisdom on this fine Monday. I am Dan, she is Beth.
Hi.
We are back. It's noon Eastern time, I think.
Yep.
We're in Mountain Time, and sometimes that's 2 hours different, and sometimes that's 3 hours different, and I lose track.
It's 2 hours different right now.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I just tell the thing to post it at the time, and it just does it, and I don't worry about these things.
Yeah.
So before we get going, on segment 1, we opened up the Lego Star Wars Advent Calendar, and we weren't sure what we were making. If you're visually gifted, you can see what we made, and it is the one thing that is not on the box. So I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to do, but it looks like some kind of transport vessel.
Could it be an armory?
Maybe. I don't know. If you know what this is, feel free to leave a comment if you are looking at it on YouTube or Rumble. If you are on the podcast side and would like to speculate with not seeing it at all, feel free to email us questions@soulofwisdom.com with your speculation as to the thing I'm holding in my hands that you can't see.
Yeah.
And, whatever. Because your guess would probably be as good as ours. And we're looking at it.
Yeah.
I don't recall ever seeing this thing in The Mandalorian. So, I don't know. But it looks cool. So we will shelve it with the other stuff. All right. Speaking of things that don't make any sense. COVID, mandates and vaccine cards and things like that. How so many places are trying to mandate the vaccine. They're trying to demand that you have your vaccine card as your passport into the job or, into this establishment or whatever the case may be, right?
Yep.
Well, as soon as you start requiring things that people don't necessarily want to do, what's the first thing that happens?
There becomes a black market.
It becomes a black market and people try to fake it. So, on this wonderful segment, we found a couple of articles that speak to said. So, if you are visually gifted, please feel free to play along on your screen. This from AZ Family, which we refer to here as Puppy News, because if you actually watch the TV version of AZ Family, pretty much every other story is about an animal.
Yes.
So, Puppy News. But every now and then they come out with something hard-hitting. This is about as close as they get. Nurse charged with making fake COVID-19 vaccine cards. It says here, looks like they drew this article from CNN. A nurse in Columbia, South Carolina has been indicted by a federal grand jury on charges of making fraudulent COVID-19 vaccination cards, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office in the District of South Carolina. Tammy McDonald, 53, is charged with making fake vaccine cards on June 20 and July 28, allegedly filling out vaccine cards for people she knew had not received the COVID-19 shot. She's then accused of lying to federal agents when questioned about the matter in October. She provided CDC COVID-19 vaccination record cards to individuals and had personally filled them out with the individual's identifying information and lot numbers for vaccines she knew had not been administered to those individuals. She's been charged with 2 counts of producing fraudulent identification documents and 1 count of lying to federal investigators. She was arraigned Friday and granted a $10,000 bond.
I'm surprised she only did it twice.
Yeah, and for her efforts, McDonald faces up to 15 years in prison for each count of making the fraudulent card and 5 years for lying. So if those run consecutive and not concurrent, it would be 35 years max. So that's interesting. But not to be outdone, Maryland man allegedly distributed over 600 fake vaccine cards. This from Fox News. Amar Shabazz, 23, allegedly bought cards through a foreign online marketplace. Shocker that some foreign marketplace would now be producing these things.
You can probably find them on Alibaba.
I was just going to say, it sounds like an Alibaba item to me.
Yeah.
He found them on the marketplace and advertised to sell them on several social media platforms. COVID-19 vaccination card. Who want one? Shabazz wrote on one account, according to the charges filed against him. $75 a pop.
That's actually pretty cheap.
That is. He continued to promote the cards over the following month, commenting on articles about vaccine requirements and restrictions at bars and restaurants. He allegedly messaged individuals to tell them he was sold out on multiple occasions. ESC should have planned ahead.
Yeah, right.
You know, you have to understand, if you're in business right now, that there are shipping constraints and considerations, so you have to be planning ahead for these things.
Yeah.
It's disappointing that he didn't do that. The messages indicate that he ordered at least 2 batches of cards, one batch of 300 and another of 500. And he sold out? He's making bank.
Yeah.
You know, nice little cottage industry, I guess, if you're willing to risk it. U.S. Customs and Border Protection had at the time started seizing fraudulent COVID-19 vaccine cards found in the mail and carrier facilities. The officer seized one package addressed to MARSHA and associated with Shabazz's phone number. Shabazz ordered another batch from the same website that arrived at his own home on August 31. He allegedly posted a picture of the cards, promoting them for $70 per card, so he discounted his price. Nice. But investigators had already started investigating Shabazz and his operation, interviewing individuals who purchased the faked cards. Shabazz appeared in court for his arraignment on December 3. He'd previously served time for possession of child porn, now faces a possible sentence of up to 20 years each for mail fraud and obstruction of justice. That mail fraud, that's the one that really gets you.
Yeah.
They use that to take down like heavy hitters when they can't figure out how to gather enough evidence to get them for the real crime. They'll nail them for mailing off a postcard.
Yep.
And it works. It sticks. But anywho, I don't even know where to start with this one. It's
a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a horrible idea. Don't go sell fake stuff. It's especially right now with as politically charged as this whole thing is. If any law enforcement agency, if any prosecuting attorney can get their hands on a case like this, and they will quickly make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
Because it's so politicized, they're going to do it, and you're going to burn.
Yeah.
And they will make sure of it. So, don't do crimes.
Yeah, they're itching for it, for sure.
Yeah. But it's not surprising that the crimes are getting done because so many people just aren't interested in complying with this whole thing.
Yeah.
It goes back to the old my body, my choice abortion argument that people now want to apply to the vaccination. And I can't say as I blame them for wanting to apply that logic.
Yeah.
Because, if you're going to say, like, my body, my choice, we can't pick and choose
which things apply.
Which things that apply to. And my own personal opinion, I'm not a constitutional scholar, but I've read it multiple times, and I believe for the average person, I'm fairly familiar with it. I don't see anything in the Constitution that allows the government to mandate a healthcare procedure.
No.
That is just me. I could be wrong, but that's my read on it. So it's not surprising under those circumstances that these kind of things would turn up. But quite honestly, a cleaner way to deal with it than to fake your way through some kind of vaccination and say, oh, I've got this thing, but you really don't, is for people to just, if you don't believe in it, you need to just stand up and say no. And you have to have the cojones to just say, job be damned or whatever, and stand up for what it is that you believe in, because that's the only way that real change happens. If you don't believe in what's going on, then you need to take a stand against it, not fake your way around it, because that doesn't fix it.
No. The loophole here, of course, is that it's being used under emergency use, and they're saying that everybody needs to get it for the health and safety of the nation. So if you believe that that is being used properly, then that's one thing. If you believe that it's being used unfairly, then you could argue that this actually goes against Nuremberg.
Yeah. No, you totally could. I don't know. But either way, I definitely don't see the point in being a criminal by trying to sell these things and profit off of it. And I also don't see a point in being a lower level criminal, but nonetheless a criminal, by faking your status.
Yeah.
At some point, you just have to stand up if this is what you believe and go, no,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it, and take your stand. And this is how the nation got founded in many ways. It was by people taking a stand. And if you've done any real due diligence, any real research on the people who founded this country, the majority of them lost everything doing it.
Yeah.
There are very few who came out of that clean. Most of them were very wealthy going in and lost everything coming out. But they did it because they had principles and things that they wanted. Now, don't say to me, well, Dan, they had slaves and all this. I get it. Principles that aligned in the time. You have to judge everything in its time. So in their time, these were very principled people. It's kind of the same thing here, in my opinion. You know, if you don't agree with something, then show your principles. Don't try to fake your way around it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you've got one person facing up to 35 years, another person facing 20 years per count. And they didn't even list in the article how many counts it was. But assuming that he sold, what was he ordered, 500 cards? Assuming he sold out and assuming he put every one of them in the mail.
In the title of the article, I thought it said he sold over 600.
Okay. Let's go back to the article here real quick. It did say over six. Very good. See, this is why we bring producer wife along. She's got that heffalump brain. So, cool.
So that's a long time.
Yeah, so
that's longer than Methuselah kind of age.
Yeah, assuming he mailed half of them, then that's 600 years.
Yeah.
There's a 6,000. 300 times 20. That'd be 6,000. 6,000 years. So good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not worth it, man.
No.
And it most certainly isn't worth it faking it either, because sooner or later you're going to get found out. Antonio Brown, who is a receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, faked his vaccine status allegedly, and he's been suspended for that, and the team is considering just releasing him, where he could have just said, no,
yeah,
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But, you know, this is fun too, I guess. All right, don't do crimes, don't be fake. I think we leave it there for now.
Make good choices. Make
good choices, exactly. Please do like, subscribe, share. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to do those things, because this is how we get out in front of other people. We will be back with you for another segment at another time. Until then, thanks for listening and take care. Bye.